Hey everybody! Happy Friday, happy end of February. I hope things are going well for you. I've had a really fabulous couple weeks. There's been some rough stuff, but I've had things that have happened that have really kind of shown me how much healing that has gone on, especially in the last 18 months. Um, If you haven't watched my videos before, I'll give you a little background about the then versus now and what my new normal is, because this today is my new normal, and I am a completely different person than I was 10 years ago, 9 years ago. Um, Prior to February 3rd of 2011, I was a nurse working 36 hours a week on a busy med-surg tele and bariatric center of excellence in Salem, Oregon. I had an apartment. I had a boyfriend. I traveled up and down the freeway. I kept my home. I kept myself up. I interacted with my family. Things were good. It was good. I mean, I was doing better than I'd been doing in a long, long, long time. And I was working on things. I had, in 2010, been diagnosed for the first time ever with post-traumatic stress disorder from various traumas throughout my entire life. Some that I wasn't even aware of until just a couple weeks ago, when a traumatic memory was triggered by reading a name. I was working hard. I was planning for my future. I was considering being a traveling nurse or going back to school to become a nurse anesthetist. I was smart. I read books. I didn't have anxiety around people. But I had battled for many years pain from conditions with back injuries, with fibromyalgia, with bursitis, a variety of different things. So I'd battled pain. I'd also battled depression and anxiety from underlying undiagnosed, untreated PTSD. That's the way I look at it anyway. That's the way that it has seemed to be for me now that I have experienced different things. But I was doing well. I was really doing well until I had a slip and hurt myself at work and strained my back really bad, and it set off fibromyalgia in this cascading pain, depression cycle. And that's when they really started medicating me more than I'd ever been before, except for one other time when I first was diagnosed with fibromyalgia back in 1998. That's when they first started really medicating me a whole bunch. I'd had medications before, but just short period before that. But 98 was when it really kind of medications were, and I was in the medical community. That's when I was first started working at a lab draw site where people would come get their blood drawn or drop off urinalysis. So anyway, this back injury was like just the final straw for my body. I've had so many injuries over the years, and I've always had very hard, industrious jobs. I waited tables for years. I had my own business doing landscape maintenance with 40 clients that I took care of every week, at nursing, CNA, UPS. I've always done hard physical work, and my body broke down. It just broke down. And then that led to the depression and trauma of not being able to take care of myself really triggered PTSD. So even more meds were added on because no one was really dealing with all the underlying issues, and I didn't even understand about all the underlying issues. Anyway, over the course of from when this injury happened in 2011 to I find myself in 2013, I'm pretty much bedridden. I'm depressed. I never sleep. I'm having paradoxical effects from benzodiazepines. The effects no longer works. The allergy meds no longer work. Nothing's working anymore. I'm just miserable in bed. I'm in so much pain. I'm depressed. I never sleep. I don't have anything. I'm just trying to find my way. I don't have a way to earn money. I'm trying to get disability. This is like 2013, 2014, 2015. I'm doing just whatever little odd job I can do, falling back on things like, cleaning somebody's home to earn money so I can pay my phone bill or have a little gas. I will say I was on food stamps the whole time, and obviously I got Western medical care. I got medicalized is what happened to me. But my life really deteriorated to a very sad place, a very, very sad place. To a place where I was suicidal frequently, to where I pushed people away because I was embarrassed. I couldn't take care of myself, and I didn't have anything, and I didn't feel good, and I was nothing like who I used to be, and I didn't understand it, and it felt awful. It felt really, really awful, and pain was out of control. My mobility got to where I was walking on a cane, hobbling at times. I complained about pain incessantly. I drove people crazy. They're like, can you talk about something else? Because that's all I could talk about was how bad I hurt. It was bad. It was really bad. And in 2014, kind of my eyes were open to what was really going on, and that it may very well be the medications. I also, as a former nurse, saw the writing on the wall that they were going to start, reducing people's amount of opiate intake, and I knew that was going to hurt. Even though I was taking them as prescribed, and I was not taking them as an addict, I was just dependent on them, and if I didn't have them, it hurt bad. And it made it really difficult. So I was like, I've got to do something different. And that's when I started doing things different. And I've done a lot of different things with very limited resources. I spent 5 months of some of the sickest I was ever living in a tent with the 110-degree temperatures and smoke that was making people go to the hospital, including myself. Suicidal for almost every single day for 2 years. Unable to get along with people, unable to focus on anything, unable to read, unable to drive. In so much pain. Emotionally and physically. Burning bones. Stomach problems, visual problems, sensations all over my body like a cat was walking across the bottoms of my legs and I didn't have a cat. Huge anxiety, even 18 months ago, knowing I had to go to town because I was going to counseling or had to go shopping caused this anxiety, and I still would kind of check out when I was out in public and doing things I needed to do. But I have had probably the best last 2 weeks in a lot of ways than I've had in 10 years. And it's just flippin' fabulous. There's been stuff that's gone on. I'm still waiting to get disability. I was finally granted Social Security disability based on I have been unable to be self-sufficient and have gone without basic things for 9 years, and haven't been able to take care of my basic needs for 9 years. Wasn't taking care of myself for 9 years. Well, not the whole time, but I deteriorated. When you have chronic pain, when you have depression, when you can't provide for yourself, things that go away might be hygiene. Brushing your hair is not important when you're just trying to survive. Brushing your teeth is just all these things you used to just take for granted as part of your day. They all cost you something. And you just don't have it for everything. Eating a proper meal and having to clean up after yourself, making your bed, getting dressed, even contemplating about a future. Various self-care things. When you're super sick, you're not able to do those things. But here I am. I think, 40 months off of I'm 40 months off benzos. So my last benzo was October 2016. So I'm 40 months off benzos. I'm 42 months off opiates. I'm 26 months off all medications. And the last year has brought forth some of the best advancements I've had in my healing. And this last week has just felt so good. So I'm just going to tell you about my day. Now, mind you, I could not go and add a job into this. This takes up my whole day to do these things. But what a huge improvement. So I have been up and awake in the morning between about 7:30 or 8, out of bed. My bed is made, big glass of water, first thing. I get dressed every day. I said I made my bed, brush my teeth, wash my face. I meditate and have some time where I kind of reflect on what I want to do for the day and what's important and how I want to approach the day. I'm eating 4 to 6 mini meals a day, which means doing dishes, which my dishes have been done every night before I go to bed. I do them once a day because I'll show you my little tiny house for those that haven't seen it. But when you live in a little tiny house, you're living a very mindful existence of resources. You just try to consolidate things. But the dishes and everything has been put away. All my clothes are put away. Everything I've been working on is put away. I've been working on goals. This is a huge one. I've actually been able to multitask. I have not been able to multitask for years. It's fabulous. It's like, oh, my brain's thinking of 2 things at once. That's kind of neat because if you go back to when I first started talking, I would have 5 patients, post-op patients, sometimes 2 or 3 on the verge of needing to go to the ICU, drips going, wound care going, dealing with families, social services, giving breaks to other nurses. I mean, I was always thinking, and I've been very singularly minded, one thing at a time. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But it is nice to be able to cook something and, I have a little project going here and I can kind of go back and forth when things are simmering over there and not forget them. I've been able to stay calm in difficult situations. I'm not as excitable as I was, and I don't get riled up by things as much. I might get still. I am a passionate person, and my voice gets a little loud and excited when I'm expressing myself, but I've not, gotten angry with people or blown up at people like I was for a while when I was going through the worst of withdrawals. And that feels really good. It's like that tells me that I'm working in this front global part, not back here in fight, flight, freeze, freak out. At the end of the day, I'm writing about the day. I'm keeping track of what I'm eating, not calories. I don't count calories, but just what am I putting in my body every day? And I've been really mindful of that. I was grief eating, and I was eating potato chips, sugar, ice cream, chocolate. Yeah, it was all organic, but it was still sugar. And literally, I've been without sugar now for 12 days, and I have a little bit of a toxic headache. I've had it for 2 days now, but I feel good otherwise, and my inflammation is down, and my focus is better. So that's very good. I've been able to read a little bit. I'm getting ready to go on a big journey and with a friend, a driving journey, because I am driving now, limited, but I am driving. But I'm going to go to Baja in the lily pad, or not sure yet. That might be different. I don't know. But so I've been reading at night just to see what's up and educate myself, and I'm doing better. It's still just a few pages. Reading is just one of those things between my visual disturbances and staying focused. Cognitively, it's just still kind of hard. Reading's just one of those things. But I am reading some. And I'm ending my day with gratitude, reflecting on, well, it's a little better, just a little bit. Yeah, there might have been this setback, or there might have been this little flare up, or there might have been this. This is life. This is life. This is my new normal. And that I really feel is going to continually just improve. Now, I will say I was talking to my counselor, my therapist yesterday, and who also he said, who you were 18 months ago to today, you come in and you're put together, and you're able to articulate, and you're calm, and so it's really, really good. Oh, I lost track there. See, I still will. Sometimes I'll still lose track, but it all is forward moving. And I remember what I was going to say. See, this is better. I can do better recall than I could 18 months ago. If something was gone, it was like the train went off the choo-choo track. I can't go back to it. But now, if I stop and think a minute, I can. So I got to think about it again. Dang it. Hold on. Talking to my therapist. Improvements over 18 months. Oh, okay. My PTSD. I have complex PTSD. I have had multiple traumas through my life, significant traumas. Because of that, I will always have a heightened fight or flight, startle, and always have kind of an armor on when I'm out and about. That will always be my MO, probably to some degree. It's softer than it was. It's not as, full metal armor, but I have saved my own life by protecting myself with being afraid or behaving a certain way just so that I can continue on. And it's worked. And to some degree, it hasn't felt good. So I've changed things. I've changed my perception of things, how I deal with things. But I will always have that thing that could trigger me. And then I have to stop and kind of go, okay, that was a long time ago. That isn't now. And there's no justice to be found. I cannot find justice. Maybe there are some situations that there is, but Mostly there's not going to be any justice for any of the damages that were done to me by other people. It just is the way it is. So I just have to go on and be the best person that I can with the circumstances that I have, and know, because I can see it, that it's been progressively getting better. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you to give you some encouragement and hope if you are struggling with depression, anxiety, PTSD, benzodiazepines, opiates, any other psychiatric drugs, addiction, grief. Things change. And you have to find your own path of what works for you. I can share with you what I did. And I do share what I do that helps my life. But my outline is not going to be the same as yours because I haven't walked the same path as you. So, it's just like the rest of life. Take what you can that works for you. If something resonates, grab onto it and give it a try. I've told over and over, meditation, being in nature, treating your body good with food and nutrition. And I slip up. I'm human. I slipped up. I was grieving hard, and food was of comfort. But it wasn't a permanent thing. Things change. Anyway, Lily says hi. Shasta's over here and says hi. I'm just going to give you a quick little tour of my little home, and I'm so grateful for it. So up there is where Shasta and I sleep, and down there is where she hangs out during the day. I've got a little place where I've got little things I need. My guitar that I hope to learn to play. My kitchen, right there. Oops, there. All right, I'm going to turn this around. All right, and then my little bathroom. Let's see, there. Little bathroom, looking out the back, and got a little shower over there, and my compost bucket. Closets over there, behind that mirror. And then over here is the refrigerator and a little bit of storage. And then my little Zen space, my table. Usually have a candle going or maybe some incense. And the door. That's my space that I work in, and it works well. I'm really grateful. Anyway, as I said, happy Friday. Things change. Embrace the good. Have hope. It'll get better, okay? It might not be back to where you were. Nothing is. Nothing ever goes back. We just have today and forward, okay? All right. Peace, y'all.